Hi, my name is Kwame from ABN Financial Services. I'm here today to talk to you about how to avoid scams online. So basically, online safety. You know when if you needed to go shopping, you go to the store, you give the guy money, and then you take the stuff out. Or if you needed to rent a car, you just go to the place, give them the credit card, and then get the stuff. Well, that's not a reality anymore. These days, almost everything is done online. Because society has moved online, criminals or other individuals have also moved online. So when you're shopping online, you have to make sure that while it used to be pickpockets trying to take money out of your pocket, these days they are online just waiting for you to use your stuff and so that they can take your money away from you. Now, this presentation is general information, so basically applies to everybody. But my specific target is international students. I used to be one. And the truth is, when I was an international student, I didn't have a lot of money to spare. So the little I had to protect it. So you have to protect yours as well. So that's the reason why we decided to do this video, to try to show you the tips as to how you can protect your money, how you can protect your wallet. I mean, if you're paying your tuition, that's fine, because that's why you work. But if some criminal in Beijing or in India or even in America is taking your money, I'm pretty sure that's not what you wanted to do. So let's go. I'll give you 5 tips that can keep you safe. After the end of the video, if you have any questions, you put it in the comment section. We'll try to respond, or you can email us and we'll give you some good response, okay? So let's go. These are the 5 points: calls from IRS, employment offers, banks, phishing, and spoofing. Now, I chose these 5 because I deal a lot with international students. Our company recruit students from across the world. And the truth is, sometimes we get calls back when they get here because they've been through some kind of traumatic event. Most times it's financial. And these are the 5 main points that we've taken out of all the complaints that we get from students. So what is calls from IRS? The Internal Revenue Service is the organization that deals with America's finances. Basically, they make sure that people, when they work, they pay taxes. Sometimes people get communications from the IRS because maybe they didn't file their taxes or they didn't file it the right way. But the other times too is because the person has been involved in some financial crime. Now, what the criminals have decided to do now is because they know the IRS is a very powerful organization. When you get a call from the IRS, you need to get to it because, I mean, they can destroy your life. So they call and then they say, hey, my name is Jimmy from the IRS and you owe back taxes, so you have to pay me right now. And then sometimes they even threaten you and say, we have a police officer coming to your house, so you need to send us $5,000 right now. And if you don't, you'll get arrested. For people who do not know the system, this is crazy because you just came here to go to school or you're just in this country to do something, and all of a sudden, there's a police officer on his or her way to your house to arrest you. So most people fall victim to this. They find the money and then they pay these people off and say, okay, here, take the money and please don't get me arrested because I don't want to be deported. Well, the IRS really never calls people. The IRS, when you go to the website, they actually tell you that if you get a call from anybody saying that they're from the IRS, it's not from them. Because you see, with them, if they have an issue with you, the first point of contact will be through a letter. So they will mail you something to your address. They will never have somebody call you and say that they will arrest you. So the moment you get a call from anyone, any unsolicited call from anyone saying that they're from the IRS and you have to pay the money right away or else you get arrested, you hang up and then you call your local police department and make that complaint that you got a call from the IRS, because the police officers are very keen on trying to arrest some of these people. So you call them a report, because sometimes if they have your phone number, they may have other information about you. So it's very important that you actually make the call. I'll give you an example. There was a gentleman, one of our students, somebody called him saying they're from the IRS. Another person actually showed up at his doorsteps and knocked and said that they needed a check from him. So it's very important when you get a call like that. It's very important to let local authorities know. If you have a campus safety on your campus, you can start from there. Let them know that you got a call and someone said that you need to pay the money. and that you didn't pay because you watched this video, and so now you're equipped with this information. So you didn't pay the money, but you just letting them know that somebody has your number and the person wanted you to pay the money. Now, the second point is employment letters. Especially when you're about to graduate, you're so excited. You complete your education, now it's time to make money. If you're an international student, you probably get OPT, which allows you to work for a period of time. You go on Indeed, you start filling applications, you go on any of these other employment platforms. You see, these platforms, they do their best to keep you safe, but you still have criminals who are sometimes also ahead of the game. When you go to a place like that looking for work, there are certain things you can do, some common sense steps that you can take to protect yourself. See, if you have not already worked in America, nobody will send you a check if you haven't done any work. So if the person says, "Hey, I have hired you," well, you haven't even sent your CV or your resume. How do you hire me? Or that they say, "I'm going to send you a check of $2,000, cash $1,000 as deposit, and send me the rest." They're trying to scam you. If it feels like it's too good to be true, take it to your international students office if you have one. If you don't have access to anything like that, just make sure that you've gone to the company's website itself to verify that the company actually exists and that they actually sent you the money. But the truth is, no one in this country will send you money if you haven't done any work for them. So just be very careful not to cash these checks when they send them to you. Because what happens is that when you take it to the bank may actually give you the money, but the check will bounce because it's a fake check. Then you are responsible for paying the money. And in some instances, you can be prosecuted for trying to cash a fake check. So it's very important when you get these employment offers that sounds too good to be true, that you try to do your independent verifications before you do anything with them, before you give them your personal information like social security numbers, date of birth, and all these things. Listen, sometimes they tell you, just don't tell me your social security number, just give me the last four. The last 4 digits of social security number is the most important four. It's the most important, sequence of digits in your social security number, because it's actually what identify you as a person. The first few digits, a lot of people have the same thing. The last four is unique to you. So try to make sure you don't just give it out, even if the person is trying to give you a job. If you haven't done your independent verifications, don't give that personal information to anybody because you can get yourself in trouble. Banks. Now, I know we talked about taking fake checks to banks and so on and so forth. This is kind of linked to that. When you get a check that you don't know where it came from, don't go and cash it. If you are slightly convinced that you've earned the check, but you're not 100% sure that the check belongs to you, take it to the bank and ask them to help you verify the check before you deposit it in your account. We have tons of clients who have brought checks here that we look at and we know firsthand that is fake. We also have some who have brought checks here, we look at it, looks like it's real. But when we do additional investigation, we realize it's fake. Some of these fake checks look really good. I mean, sometimes they look realer than the real ones. You have to make sure you protect yourself because the banks, they don't care. They may give you the cash, like I said, but they will come back to you and try to get their money back. When they come back, they always have the option of reporting you to the local law enforcement authorities. And they also always have the option to try to prosecute you. And so not only would you be left with a hole in your bank account, you may also face some legal challenges. If you really didn't mean to cash a fake check, you may get out of it, but that will be after you spend a lot of money trying to defend yourself. So just don't do it. If it looks too easy, if you don't know where the check came from, if you don't think that you've earned the check, take it to the bank, try to get them to help you verify the check before you put it in your account. Because once it goes into your account, you are the one committing the offense and you are the one that they will come after. Make sure that you verify these checks. Make sure that you don't try to get money that you haven't earned. Phishing, what is that? Phishing schemes are the things that when you go online, sometimes you open an email and then there's a link. It says, if you fill this form, it will send you $1,000. Or It said, if you fill this form, we give you money to go to Hawaii for free. Nobody really gives anything out for free anywhere, especially in this country. So when you get the link, if you don't know where the email is coming from, don't click it. Sometimes it will give you, let's say, a Fortune 500 company. They sometimes clone emails and websites of places that you know, right? So it could be a popular grocery shop. When you are really thinking maybe this could be legit, just scroll up, look at the email address itself, and look at the spelling and compare it to the spelling that you know. So let's say if it's Aspire, if you get it, just make sure it's Aspire spelled the same way that the Aspire you know is spelled. Because sometimes what they do is they just maybe will do 2 A's or 2 X's, and you may not necessarily realize. You just scan it, the logo looks the same, everything looks the same, the email is fake, but you didn't pay attention, so they see it. You click the link, they take over your computer, they steal your personal information, they sell it in the black market. You owe a lot of money that you never spent, and that hurts more than anything else. So you protect yourself. For those people who like to visit crazy websites, pornography websites, and stuff like that, all those things can lead you in trouble. If you want to take the risk, at least make sure that the risk you're taking is something that you've researched. Don't take some crazy risk that can land you in big trouble, that if you're an international student can actually get you deported. So it's very important you pay attention to these links that you get. If it's unsolicited from an email you don't know, delete it. If you suspect that it could be correct or whatever, just check it and see that, okay, maybe it is. So let me check the spellings, let me check the logo. Sometimes if it is a company you do a lot of business with, don't click the link, call them, verify that it came from them before you click the link. It sounds like a lot of work, but guess what? What is even more work is trying to defend yourself after you've been accused of doing something you know you didn't do. So it's very, very important that you pay attention to these links and these emails that you get from people. Spoofing, that's an interesting one. I actually have been almost spoofed before. Spoofing is when you get a call from an entity, a company, a group that you know, and the phone number is a phone number you actually know. Okay, so what they do is they actually clone phone numbers. So they can sit somewhere. Sometimes they're not even in the same country, they are in a different country, but they could call you. So let's say you go to a university called Aspire University, and you get a call. The phone number looks like it's an Aspire University phone number. And then you start talking to somebody you have not spoken to before. And all of a sudden, they're asking for personal information. Hang up. And then you use the phone number you know for Aspire University to call Aspire University. Because someone could have easily cloned that phone number and spoofed you with the phone number and try to get your personal information. But it may not be somebody from Aspire at all. The person may be sitting somewhere in Korea and just doing that to you. So it is very important when you get the call and they start asking for personal information. I mean, in this world, you cannot say you never give personal information over the phone. But once they start asking you that type of questions, just tell the person you're going to hang up and call the number that you know. So if it's your bank, if you get a call and they're saying, I'm from your bank and we need you to give us this information, hang up, call the bank yourself. Because even though they can spoof incoming calls, they cannot spoof calls that you make out. So if you call the number yourself, the call is not going to go to the person in Korea trying to spoof you. It will go directly to the bank. Call the bank and say, I got this call. Did this come from you? They will say yes if they did. They will say no if they didn't. But at least make sure that you take that step to try to protect yourself. It's very important. So protect your information. Like I said, we're going to put our link underneath this video. If you have any questions, you can contact us. You can reach us info@abnfinancialservices.com, or you can ask your question underneath the video. Share this with as many people that you think can benefit from this. And I'll see you some other time with another topic. Thank you.